Hey everybody, it's Eric from EPAutos.com, your libertarian car guy sitting in the parking lot of my local Kroger for my now almost daily run of supplies because of the sense of foreboding that I've got about the prospect of a national diaper mandate coming down from the presumptive future head diaperer-in-chief, whatever his title's going to be. Which, if it happens, will make it very difficult to not don the holy rag in order to get something to eat. I've got an article up on the site about this, urging people to, if they possibly can, buy as much food and other supplies as they can if they don't want to be inducted into the cult and forced to wear the holy rag. Speaking of which, I am unhappy to report that I've seen a negative trend at my local Kroger in terms of the proportion of the diapered to the non. For a few weeks prior to the election, I was encouraged by seeing usually 3, sometimes 4 people out of a crowd of, I don't know, maybe 25 or 30 people in the store who were not wearing the holy diaper. But the last couple of times since the election that I have been to Kroger, everybody except myself is wearing the holy rag. Even though I know a couple of the people who work here and I've spoken with them and they hate the thing, nonetheless, you see everybody wearing the holy rag. And I think it correlates to the amping up of the talk about the cases. It astonishes me how almost metronomically and predictably you can track the way people behave based on what they see on TV. Can't be coincidental. Over the last 2 weeks, the media, and when I say the media, that's abbreviated or short really for the consolidated corporate media. You might want to look into this a little bit if you're unaware of the fact that most of the major media networks are controlled by a handful of corporations, and so it's not accidental that they all are singing the same tune. The cases, the cases, the cases. And by the way, I'd love to know how it is that all these people are getting tested all the time. It's bizarre to me. Do you, in your community, see people lining up to find out whether they've got the corona? I don't. I figure unless you're actually sick, you wouldn't go in to get a test, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But at any rate, the point is you see an uptick in diapering because they're amping up the fear porn again. TV really is the enemy of the American people, of freedom, generally speaking. These agents of totalitarianism, these people who are screeching fire in the crowded theater, these Julius Streichers of our time, who are baiting people and egging them on to be terrified and also to be angry at people who don't share their weaponized hypochondria. It's really quite alarming. So to circle back to what I was talking about initially, I think that if you're still sane and you do not want to have anything to do with the sickness cult, and most particularly to be seen as acquiescing to it by putting on the filthy holy rag, I strongly encourage you to use the time that you've got right now to make preparations so that you don't have to submit to it. Get as much food as you can. Get all the supplies that you need so that you have the time, if worst comes to worst, to figure out how to continue to eat, to feed yourself, to feed your family without having to kowtow to this sickness kabuki that they're imposing on the country. We may all have to go to ground and grow vegetables and raise animals and barter amongst ourselves, whatever it takes. Your mileage may vary, but just speaking for me, I will not wear a face diaper, ever, because I'm not sick, and I refuse to be bound by somebody else's hypochondria and hysteria as some kind of a moral obligation on me to make them feel better. Call me selfish, call me mean-spirited, but that is my point of view on this topic. More over at EPAutos.com, the web's best libertarian gearhead site, and an island of sanity in the midst of sickness psychosis. Thanks as always for listening to the rants and reading the articles, and most of all for supporting the site. It's the only thing that keeps the lights on after wrong thinkers like myself get demonetized and deplatformed and all the other things that the consolidated corporate media wants to do to silence anybody who isn't singing from the same playbook, the same awful hymn of tyranny. So thanks again. We'll catch up with you soon.